Oops.
Well, hey, everybody, welcome to the Seeing Ability podcast, where we're having a conversation about the world of people with disabilities. And that means sometimes we're going to be talking to adults who grew up with a disability, sometimes parents who are raising kids with a disability, and a lot of people that support them. So it could be folks in nonprofit, healthcare, education. First of all, I know you got a lot of choices when it comes to podcasts. So thanks for tuning in and listening to us today. I'm your host, Jim Littlefield Damaris. Love having you here. And I think you're really going to enjoy my guests because we've got two perspectives. First of all, Derek and Julie, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Great to have you guys. And with two perspectives because we've got a sibling perspective and a person who has differing abilities. So you guys are both here. But my audience knows before we talk about the whole world of disabilities, we always like to do the fast forward and talk to you guys just about some things that helps us get to know you a little bit. So Here's the questions. Before I do that, I have to give a shout out to our friends at Reliable Tech Help. They're the sponsors of the Fast Forward. So if you have tech needs, you're like swearing at your computer, give them a buzz, 502-797-7399, Reliable Tech Help. Our first question, guys, what is your favorite food? Either one of you. What do you think?
Ooh.
Seafood for me.
Seafood for you.
It's kind of cliche, but I got to go with pizza.
Okay, you can't go wrong there. Okay, number two, if we were to listen to your music, like a playlist that you've got on some device, Julie, Derek, what are you guys jamming to? What's your music?
Oh, I don't know.
What's your favorite music?
Christian.
Christian music? Okay, Derek, how about you?
Yeah, if my answer is going to be like I love rock and roll and everything, but if you look at my playlist, there's a lot of Sinatra. Probably the most popular album ever played is a Norah Jones album, but don't tell anybody that.
Okay, yeah, it's only on a podcast. Nobody will hear.
Good. And Julie's gotten me into country too, right?
Okay,
Well, you got me in the country.
You started it.
Okay, let's see enough of that.
am I going to have to put you two in separate rooms? Spouse,
No.
siblings. That
We love
always
each other.
It'd be like, Mom, do I need to stop this car and separate the two of you?
No,
Like
don't do it.
Turn this podcast around, right?
Turn this podcast
Let's
around.
do it.
Exactly. Okay, how about favorite movie or TV show? What do you guys like to watch?
Favorite TV show would be Home Improvement all the way.
Home Improvement. Okay, very good, Derek.
A movie, I'm gonna go with Tommy Boy. I got to meet Chris Farley, and
Oh man,
that's I don't know. I mean, as far as like of course I love Shawshank Redemption and all that, but Tommy Boy, he was an amazing individual, man.
yeah, that's a great movie. Okay, and if you guys, is there a place on your bucket list that you've never been to, but if you could have like a dream vacation, where would you want to go?
Well, go ahead.
Back to Hawaii.
Hawaii. Okay, so you've been, but you want to go back.
Yeah, that was my first time.
Yeah, Julie,
Yeah.
how many states have you been in, Jewel?
49.
She's been in 49 states. I've been in all
49
50.
states.
He's trying to get me out 50.
Okay,
Yeah,
what's the one that's left?
Montana.
Montana.
Okay, Montana, you heard it. If you want to invite these guys out,
Yeah, have it out there and do an event. Then I don't have to pay for it.
there you go. I like it. Okay, we've put it out in the universe now. Montana. Derek, how about you? Where would you want to go?
I've been blessed to go to a lot of places. Probably somewhere in Europe. I've been to a little bit of Europe, but not a lot. I hear Belgium's awesome. And we're Scottish and Irish, so like that whole up in that area would be the United Kingdom would be great.
Okay, there you go. So we put it out in the universe. So I've obviously had the chance to talk to you guys a little bit before today's podcast, and I mentioned that you're siblings, but we didn't really go into kind of your backstory. So Derek, why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about you and this lovely lady you have sitting next to you?
Awesome. Well, we are Derek and Julie, 2 out of 4 kids. The other 2 are
Randy and Christy.
Randy and Christy. Randy was first. He's our older brother. He's 18 months older than me. Then our sister Christy came 18 months later, and then I can't remember.
Yeah, there was one more. Can you remember?
Who was the last one? Tell them now.
That'd be me.
Okay.
Last.
Oh, sure. Save the best for last. That's what
Save
Julie.
the best for last.
All the time I say it.
I think you saved the best for second, actually, if you ask me.
Something like that.
I was born in Oswego, New York, and Julie was born in Syracuse, New York. Those are 45 minutes apart.
Okay.
Julie still lives in Syracuse with our folks, right?
And my dog.
And her dog. Don't forget Hooper. That's very important.
Hooper. Okay, great. What kind of dog?
What kind of dog?
Shih Tzu.
Okay,
It's
fantastic.
just fun to say, Shih Tzu. I like saying that.
Exactly.
No comment.
Oh,
And then so I've lived all over the world, and now I currently, well, I still live all over the world. I just don't have a house or an apartment. Everything I own's in a suitcase. I have 7 shirts. I don't know if we're videoing or audioing, but my shirt today
We're doing
says,
a little of both. You guys both
oh,
have the shirts on, and we'll get to the whole shirt thing later because
okay,
some
cool.
people may not know about you guys and your shirts.
So I just travel, no apartment, nothing. And my motto is live simply, love wastefully. And that's what I try to do. And Julie teaches me a lot about both of those things. So,
And we'll talk a little bit later about the sibling perspective, because obviously, Julie, being a person born with Down syndrome, you had a sibling perspective. But then, Derek, you kind of had your own thing come up in life that was like that second curveball for your family.
yeah, absolutely. Mom and dad are pretty strong people. When I was 14, which was 19, never mind. I just,
Not
and
to
I
be
was,
disclosed.
yeah, exactly. I was an athlete, won the most athletic awards and all that kind of stuff, and was thinking about a career in sports, all that kind of thing. And I just had a headache. I went into a coma. They told my parents I would die that night,
Wow.
which I didn't. So that's good, right?
That's
Step in
good.
the right direction.
You're here.
And I had brain surgery, lived in a wheelchair for a long time, and basically had to start all over. And the end result is essentially my left side is paralyzed. Like I can't, feel this here. I can't use my left arm, walk with a limp. You do the YMCA and I do the LOL, I mean, so sorry.
You can say it. Nobody else
Yeah,
can.
that's right. Sometimes I feel left out, but I'm all right.
So let's back up. If you've had a lot of conversations with your parents, you introduced me to them. I've talked to them a little bit, and I'm getting them scheduled to be on the podcast because you mentioned
Oh,
they're
cool.
kind of parent rock stars, and you weren't kidding. They're pretty amazing. What was it like for you as a sibling, and for them, because you were an observer of their
Mhm.
reactions to when Julie came along, and it was that first curveball of like,
Yeah.
you never know what you're going to get in any kid, but like traveling the path of a person with a disability is a little different. What was it like for them?
Well, I'll tell you what, when Julie was born, there was 3 of us kids. I was 4, Randy was 6, and Chrissy was 3 or whatever. But we didn't, it was 19, never mind. So there was no pre-diagnosis, right? So when Julie was born, we just knew. I can remember going to the hospital at 4 years old in the car all together to get the new baby, the new and then mom and dad, told us right away, that Julie, and back then you could use the word retarded. That was what they said, right?
Sure.
And now it's kind of a buzzword. And what they told us right out of the gate, and to their credit, because they didn't, it was a surprise to them too, right?
Sure.
And it's scary for any person, especially if you don't know what does that mean. It's like telling somebody, oh, your kid has 9 heads. You don't know, you never experienced this before. But very quickly, our parents told us, look, Julie is different. She's what's called mentally retarded. So then, and they said that word doesn't mean dumb. That word means slow. So
Mm.
what very quickly they said is it's gonna take Julie longer to learn things than it takes you guys. So we're gonna be Team Tenant, and we're gonna help. That's our last name, by the way. We're gonna
Right.
help Julie learn things because it's gonna take her a longer time to learn. And then, for example, Julie was potty trained at an early age than any of the rest of us were because we really poured into her and we loved her and all that. And it
Yes.
was kind of fun. There was some things like, what's the one thing that we always talk about?
my tongue.
So people with Down syndrome tend to have what happen with their tongue
It
when you're
sticks
born.
out.
Yeah, like it kind of hangs out.
Yeah.
So
Dad,
Julie's physical therapist when we were little kids told us that we could do what?
they fling it back in.
If we saw her tongue stick it out, we could flick it.
Flick it. Oh, you got
That
flick
was like a
permission.
conditioning thing and in reality that probably happened like 3 times, but we feel like we did it all the time. We get the flick. So now I just flick her on the arm or
An
Okay,
excuse to flick your sibling is a good one.
I know.
Oh,
Flick your sibling. That sounds like a t-shirt. Maybe that should be
no.
I'm a little brother myself, so I can relate,
you can relate to that. But yeah, so we just, mom and dad were very wise to realize this is a challenge, but we're gonna handle it as a family and as a team, and that's what we did. And Julie was anybody who's got any experience with Down syndrome. It's an extra chromosome, but our grandfather said it's not. He said that you and me, Jim, are missing it.
Right.
Call it, Jewel.
Call it the love chromosome.
the
The
love.
love chromosome.
Yeah,
Okay,
there's
so
some
you've got the
wisdom
love
there if
chromosome.
anybody. And so
Or
we knew right away
do we say it more like the love chromosome?
the love.
I'm a love.
She's like, and
No.
that's a no.
Hey, come on here.
So we quickly earned it that Julie's hugs were different, and the way that she saw life was, as a baby was different, and yeah,
Right.
a challenge, but also, and they have Julie has 47 of something that you and I have 46 of. It's not a disability; it's an upgrade.
Right. What an amazing gift your parents and the strength that they could kind of reframe everything of like, there's not something wrong here, there's something different here.
Yeah.
Not that any kid is the same. All kids are different, right? But they kind of told you guys early on there's something that's going to be different here. And because of it, we're going to need to bond together. I mean,
Mhm.
like, that's powerful.
Yeah, and at that point, they didn't even know that my brain was going to break.
Well, there's that. Yeah, they didn't even know that. Well, here's a question. Do you think when you had your injury and your family had to support you, that you guys had already been in training in some way?
Yeah. I really think that. I mean, I knew, like, I don't remember a time, and I was in the hospital for 12 or 13 weeks. I don't remember a time when there wasn't people there, and it was a default. I knew my family loves me. They're going to be here, my friends,
Do
so there was that strength and that team that was already created. Did you want to say something when I was
um
in the hospital?
oh yeah, on my 10th birthday, he had a brain image, which I got scared of. Well, I think I got scared, but I don't know because I was 10.
Yeah, I
Right?
know you got scared. We all
I'm
did.
sure you
Yeah.
were scared. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
scary.
And then I sat on his bed and which is um my favorite thing to do sometimes a lot, but not too much. Just a special thing for Derek. It was my 10th birthday and I had a Happy Meal with me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this my brain hemorrhage happened on Julie's 10th birthday.
Oh my gosh.
What it
So that
did
was a little
though.
bit after because it didn't scare me because I was in a coma, so I was fine.
Ugh.
But
I didn't know what to do though.
yes.
So
But I always had the team Tennant on my side, and I learned that from being on that team with Julie too.
Yeah, it's kind of like your family was already used to like, okay, we're life's thrown us a curveball, we're just going to adjust. And then obviously, compared to a lot of people, they probably took it a little, it's not easy to take a brain injury for a kid in stride, but if there is such a thing, your probably family probably took it more in stride.
Yeah, and mom taught us early and dad taught us early on something that's written on the wall that we're in mom's office right now. Jewel, tell them what that means.
what a wonderful opportunity.
So anything that happens in your life is a wonderful opportunity, and to the extent that we make it a silly thing in our family, like
Yeah,
Julie trips, I'm like, what a wonderful opportunity to learn how to walk, but any
right.
challenge in
You
our
see, you
life,
would.
the way I say it in speaking is obstacles are opportunities, and that's where you grow. The challenge leads to the growth and to the
Yeah.
opportunity. So we learned that early on from mom and dad,
Uh-huh.
and it's helped us in our life for sure. But we've seen them model that.
Yeah. And now, how do you think having that sibling experience? I know sometimes there's a risk when a kid goes to therapy and special doctor's appointments and has all this stuff of like being a little jealous or being like neglected. I think parents worry, like, what about the other kids? What did your parents do that you remember to kind of help overcome some of that?
Yeah, it's kind of, even when Julie was born, of course, she's the baby and she's different, so there's more attention and everything. But even before Julie was born, there was three of us, and we used to have like an example is we would have alone time with mom and dad, and I don't know where they got their wisdom. I just grew up with this, but
Right.
for example, I think it was Friday nights. So we grew up in the house I'm in now. It's 3 bedrooms, 1 bath, so small house, so you can hear everything that's going on in the house.
Sure.
So Friday nights, one of us, Christy, Randy, Derek, would get to stay up with mom and dad and do whatever we want,
Oh my.
which usually meant movie, popcorn, pizza, Yahtzee,
Candy.
something fun and loud that you could
Okay.
smell and all
So it
that.
like rotated. Everybody got a
Yeah.
chance.
So once, they rotate through. And what they taught us is that there's going to be a night where you're in your room, you got to go to bed, and you're going to hear Randy out there having fun playing Sorry and eating pizza.
That's TV or something.
And don't be jealous because your time is coming too. Be happy for your brother that he's having that fun time, right? And we learn
Yeah.
that, right? So we genuinely would be happy and celebrate. So there, like my dad, if he went on a business trip, and for example, let's say he found Randy likes cars and he found a cool little car for Randy. I think a lot of parents are like, oh, now I got to get something for Derek and Christy. They didn't do that. They're like, oh, I found this for you. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. Randy got that. You know, and yeah, there might be a little, I was a kid, there might be a little jealousy there, but
Sure.
we learned that, you know, it didn't have to be that way. And I think that's a norm for parents that you think you got to keep it all equal, but you don't. The kids aren't the same. So, you know, love them all, but, you know, it doesn't have to be the
Yeah,
same.
that's a rare gift though, that idea that they got special time and instead of being jealous, be happy for them. What a great way if we could all look at the world that way. That's a great gift.
Yeah, and I, you know, and it sounds like I was so mature as a kid. You know, I wasn't, but that was just the way it was presented. They, you know, there
Right.
wasn't an option to be like, "Well, I want to be out there." And of course, there was a little kid in us that would be like, "I wish I was out there." But we also, in the back of our heart, we knew in our head that, you know, next week I'm gonna pick, you know, a Disney movie and, you know, fried chicken or whatever, you know, so you knew it was coming.
Yeah, a lot of times when parents have kids born with any kind of extra challenge, they get a little overwhelmed in the beginning with worry about like what's going to be like when they grow up. Julie, I know you've got some experience when families in your area have a kid born with Down syndrome, you get involved with that. Tell us what you do.
When somebody has a baby that has Down syndrome, what you've like, what are some things you did for that family?
I already know that you for the parents that you're gonna be excited to have a Down syndrome baby.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
wow.
even
So
told them you're so lucky.
To have a Down syndrome
She's
baby.
like, your baby's just like me. You know?
Yeah.
that's really cool. So instead of like being sad or being worried about the future, like be excited because
Yeah.
it's going to be a great
This
joy
is
in
a
your life.
human being. You gotta love that being human being, the baby,
Mhm.
to have Down syndrome like me.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. So tell me a little bit about, I know that you guys have an entrepreneurial streak in your family. There's your shirts that you're wearing is related to a business. Derek, tell us the story of how that all got started.
Yeah, so I've dabbled in the apparel industry for a while through some things I started way back. And then Julie had a job. What was your favorite job you ever had?
Penny Curtis at a bakery.
And how long did you work there?
12 years.
Yeah, something her brother's never done. She worked a job for 12 years. You like it because it paid so much money?
No,
Why did you
it's
like
not
it?
the food, it's the people. It felt like a family to me.
Yep. And then after 12 years, what happened?
And sat down and took 160 people out, including me.
Well, out of a job, not
I mean,
out. Like it didn't burn
well,
down.
that wrong.
Yeah, so you lost the job along with a lot
Lost
of
your
other good
job.
folks.
Yeah,
And then the journey started. We, you know, job coach, and we tried to find another job. And how was that?
I was really hard.
It was hard, and you know, it was patronizing, and you know, she had a great situation. So Julie loves to draw, and I asked her to draw when she thinks of the because Grandpa had already said the love chromosome, and that was a thing.
Right.
Draw what you think of when you think of the love chromosome. And the first drawing that she did was what?
Two stick figures playing catch with Derek with two hands.
Yeah, yeah. On the shirt, both of my hands work, so I like
Next time I do one
Yeah.
arm,
And what did it say underneath it?
I love my life. For sure.
She drew two stick figures playing catch with a ball. Simple, right?
Yes.
And underneath it just said, I love my life.
Uh-huh.
So I made a t-shirt out of it. And just because, you know, I had the business and then we would speak or something, we would sell that t-shirt and there'd be a line to buy the t-shirt. And what was the other line for?
Oh, autograph.
To get who's on mine, right?
No, I'm
I
thinking
agree.
Julie's.
No, Julie's autograph. Yeah, nobody wanted my autograph. And then that led to her second shirt, which was what?
Cool, man.
Because she just likes to say cool man. So we made a shirt.
Cool, man.
Yeah. Oh, and you say cool man, you have to cross your arms,
Okay, there's a pose.
lean back, and then sunglasses help.
Okay,
And
yeah, I'll have to
cool
work on
man.
that.
Cool, man.
So she
Like
drew that. And then, you know, one thing led to another, and we just started, you know, looking into so now it's a business called
Julie's Cool Search.
.com.
Yep.
Julie's
Cool
cool. Okay, so
shirt.
every listeners, juliecoolshirts.com.
JuliesCoolShirts.com. And we, you know, hats, umbrellas, hoodies, all
Yeah.
kinds of stuff. And I built the website, so it's pretty rough right now. By the time this comes out, the new website may be available. But if you go on there and it's hard to figure out how to find a yay kind of shirt.
Yeah, I think we're scheduled to come out around August, so just in time for your early holiday shopping.
That's true. Yeah, I like it. I like the way he thinks, right? Get your Christmas gifts from Julie's Cool Shirts.
.com.
So
.com.
what's been the response, Derek, to for people that have seen it? Just everyday people or people in the Down syndrome community. What's been the reaction?
Yeah, it's pretty. I think definitely people in the Down syndrome community, celebrate it a little more because it's, a CEO, Julie, who's overcome some challenges and has some great drawings too, and just tries to spread what's the main word on all of our shirts? What? Wastefully or just what?
Just love.
Love. So they all have to do with love. Like
Oh,
we have a
love. Yeah.
line, just
Oopsie.
love, or I'd rather what?
I'd rather be slow to learn than slow to love.
I'd rather be slow to learn than slow to love is
With
one of
my
our.
name on it too.
Oh, I love that
Yeah,
one.
eventually we started putting Julie's name printed on the shirt because why?
My hand get crimped to do
It's
autographs.
so hard to sign all those
I mean,
autographs.
that's a
Even
burden that
Kobe has my name on it.
yeah, neither one of us have that burden signing to
Yeah, I
our
don't have
name.
that problem at all. My shirt just says Thursday.
I mean,
It's
he only has one hand,
Holidays.
only has one hand that works, and it doesn't get tired because they all want your autograph.
that's right.
I
I
feel
just sit
bad
back
though.
and point to where
You
Julie
feel bad.
all my hand does.
What a cool
Well,
thing. And so you guys have had the website and the business how long?
Well, we started selling that one shirt, gosh, I mean, 10 or more years ago,
Wow.
just like
Okay.
at events, right? And
Yeah.
then she made the next shirt and we'd bring it to event. And so I built the website, man, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago, something.
Okay.
And I'm still learning that business as we do it, but it's pretty exciting. And the way it works now, Julie, when somebody gets an order, how does somebody get the shirt? What do you do?
Uh, get a package?
Yeah, you put it in
Envelope.
and then what goes in the envelope?
Handwritten note. We got a new thing. Get flashlight.
Some little goodie, a handwritten note.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
shirts are rolled up like a burrito and they
You
have
get
one
a
of those
wristband.
bracelets around it.
Oh.
Wonder Twin
Okay.
Powers. And
A burrito with the bracelet and a
yep.
handwritten note by
So
Julie. That's
it's
not
pretty labor
every.
intensive, right? So I
Yeah.
Yeah.
haven't marketed the company at all yet because a couple shirts a week is fine. But I just got a new warehouse and hired a team that's going to be fulfilling it. So we are going to start marketing pretty soon and get it to
Wow.
sell a lot of shirts. So we're
What's that
excited
mean?
about that. That means we're going to because the other people are going to do the shipping and stuff.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. So, Derek, you mentioned at speaking events. So, tell us a little bit about your message with your own journey that you bring to speaking.
Yeah, I've been blessed to, I'm a stand-up comic, and so humor is a valuable asset in anything in your life. But I do a lot of motivational speaking, typically in the corporate world. And the message is the obstacles are opportunities. Every challenge, just like moms and dads say, a wonderful opportunity.
Yeah.
And that translates, like I can't use my left side, but I love my life, man. And it's led me to things that I never would have done if I was just playing football or whatever. And so we've learned that, Julie says, I love my life. Whatever your challenge is, and that translates into business perfectly. COVID was a big challenge for a lot of businesses. It was also an incredible opportunity to demonstrate what type of company you are, or what
Right.
type of employee you are, those kind of things. So you learn and you grow and you strengthen through those things. So that message works in any arena and translates. And Julie likes that we're both what
Handicap.
and what?
And we both single.
She likes to tell people that we're both handicapped. We're both.
I
Um,
love it. Okay, I want to ask you a little bit about related to comedy something, but first we're going to take a short break.
okay.
When you have a kid who is different, all your ducks need to be in a row, especially your money. Kim Howell with Primerica knows the joys and the challenges as he and his wife raise their medically fragile son, Brooks. Kim brings over 13 years of experience to help his clients be protected, have a plan for the future, reduce debt, and connect to resources. Get your financial house in order so that you can enjoy every moment with your child. Reach out today at 502 803 5075. And now back to the show. Okay, guys, we talked a little bit earlier about comedy and you being a stand-up comedian. I know, Derek, you've got a project brewing in Nashville. Share a little bit about that.
Yeah, I'm real excited about this. I did a show on a cruise ship a while ago where I taught adults with Down syndrome how to do stand-up comedy. And then we did a show on the cruise where they were the comedians.
Oh, I
and it
bet
was
you had
called,
some naturals in that group.
oh yeah, it was called Downright Funny. And it's the love chromosome, but it's the also I want to be the center of attention chromosome. So that worked really well. Well, I've been volunteering with this group in Nashville. It's called Our Place Nashville, and they have residences for adults with all types of special needs or challenges. And so I decided to pitch to Zanies, the number one comedy club in the country, in my opinion, to do another show similar to that, but not just Down syndrome specific. And
Mhm.
it's called Jokeability, and the tagline is "Laugh with us, not at us." So we're going to do a 6 week course teaching my friends there how to tell a joke, how to do stand up comedy, and there's a show. The real goals are that this is going to be great for their confidence, their eye contact, their communication skills, that kind of thing,
Yep.
and the awareness that it's going to spread. That oh man, I don't have to be afraid of somebody with autism. That's kind of fun, that kind of thing. So I'm hoping to film it. So if anybody's in that filming industry, feel free to reach out because I'm looking for someone to help me
Yeah.
film the class and the show. And then spread that through the documentary, spread that mission, that, these are people too.
Wow, I love that. And so your show's going to be in later August, is that right?
Yeah, it's August 22nd at Zanies in Nashville, which again, great club. And it's a number one, A room, professional club. It's not, they've been really great with partnering with us too. It's been fantastic.
And I think you said based on venue size, you probably have no trouble filling the audience, but you're always looking for people that would want to sponsor or be partner with the event.
Yeah, we're looking for people that want to partner up with us because this is something that's very franchisable. So my vision is to take this and do it in Dallas and do it in Chicago or whatever. So we're looking for sponsorships, whether locally or nationally, that want to be a part of something amazing.
Yeah, that's a really cool idea. What a
Thank you.
gift, and it'll probably be hysterical.
Oh, it's really, I mean, in ways that you don't plan too.
Right.
That's usually the funnier part is when you didn't plan that to happen.
Yeah, I love
Julie
that.
and I were on TV. Real quick, I'll say we were
Yeah.
interviewed live on TV after a show, and you heard our message. It's like Julie says, "I have Down syndrome. He's paralyzed. We love our life." And she loves that we're both single. And when she says that, she means Randy and Christy have families who are
Yeah.
single, and you can love your life despite. So we're on live TV, and they asked me in the news, "Hey Derek, what makes you guys special? What's unique?" I said, "Actually, Julie can tell you." And I gave Julie the camera or the microphone, so confident that she can handle this, and she looks right in the on live TV. I go, "Tell him what makes us unique." And she goes, "Well, we're both handicapped. I have Down syndrome and he's single." And like the cameraman drops the camera. The poor girl that was interviewing us, she's trying not to laugh. I'm crying. And
What to do? Like I'm
well, she realized that she like combined our phrases and
Right.
she's still on live TV, right? And she goes, "I'm sorry." And I'm like, "Jewel, I'm like, I've never written anything funnier than that. Like,
Right.
I
Right.
use that in a podcast in 5 years. So those types of things happen on the show too that you don't plan, but are way funnier than anything you thought you could do. Just like
Yeah.
life, right?
Well, I would love it if people listening to this hear the concept and want to get in touch with you for, the idea of making that something that's duplicatable.
That would be awesome. Yeah, I would be. It's really in the infant stages, but I really think it's got legs, so I'm excited
And
about it.
obviously, you have the ability to travel because you live out of a suitcase,
Yeah,
right?
I mean, I live in, Wyoming as much as I live in Maine. It doesn't
What?
matter.
So let me ask you this. I always like to kind of wrap up episodes with saying if you guys, and this is open to either one of you, are kind of a team effort, because you're a team tenant. If you guys were invited to speak like at a hospital, children's hospital, and maybe they had some parents who had had kids born like, and they're all under 5, and they have a variety of different challenges, but they're all kind of in this world of people with differing abilities. And you could give them a couple pieces of advice as young parents of keys to success along the road. What would you tell them?
Yeah.
Somebody that just had a baby that was different, what would you say?
I
Say,
don't
would you
know.
say, "Oh, this is going to be terrible. Your life's going to be so hard"? No, what would you say?
You'll love the baby.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
really good advice because I've heard that over and over that the first thing
I
you
don't know which
do,
one.
what's that?
I don't know what word to use.
no, you're doing great, Joe.
You said love the baby. I mean, I think the
Oh,
biggest thing is like it's a baby first. It's not a disability, like a disability
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
define an
oh,
entire
okay.
disability
Learn
doesn't
something.
define, yeah, it doesn't define an entire person.
Yeah, there was a great article written by a woman that was a writer for Sesame Street. And her son was the first special needs individual on Sesame Street as an actor. But she wrote, and I'm going to totally obliterate the story, but like, for example, let's say somebody their whole life couldn't wait to go to Paris, their whole life, and they finally were able to get to where they could go to Paris, and the plane tickets show up, and the plane tickets are to the Netherlands. And they're like, what? This is not, I was going to go to my whole life, I'm dreaming of going to Paris, and that seems like a tragedy and everything. But the Netherlands are awesome. Right. So yeah, you expected you were going to go to Paris, but go and enjoy Netherlands. It's beautiful. There's so much to see there that's unique. And so that's kind of the way it is when you have a baby that's, you expected a typical healthy, whatever that word means, baby.
Right.
Now you've got the Netherlands. So go enjoy the Netherlands, right? I mean, it's going to be fantastic and an adventure that you never thought you would get to go to.
And you guys seem like you're having a pretty good time.
Yeah, we're having you think we're having fun?
Just a little. So Derek, anything else any other advice you would give? Because again, back about worrying about siblings, all those things that parents worry about.
Yeah, it's I have a unique perspective because I'm a sibling of somebody with a disability that also has a disability. But
Right.
again, we have two other siblings, and really the camaraderie is, I think, what to emphasize. Not that, Julie's different in that she has Down syndrome, and that since she was a baby was celebrated. But, I was different because I was the class clown. My brother was different because he was really good working under his hands. I know.
Sorry, I didn't see that.
So I would say, highlight the eccentricities or whatever that word is, of each of the kids, but the team, regardless of how big the family is, whatever. And sometimes that's just mom, dad, and the kid or whatever.
Right.
And that really, since as young as we can remember, that's been something that, and we still have what's our text thing that we send text to?
Uh,
Starts with an F.
Family. I almost said friends. I'm sorry.
Well, they are friends too, but like I really feel like nothing actually happens in my life until I send it to family text. Like if I get a new gig, the first thing I do is like, oh, I got to send this family thing. Like we have that level of team, and that started when we were young.
Yeah.
Especially when challenges happened. So it's real. There it is. What a wonderful opportunity. Everything is a wonderful. The bigger the challenge, the bigger the opportunity.
Yeah, there's so many ideas you guys have imparted just in this short time. That one especially behind you. And I am in the process of, they're a hard get with their agent and everything, but getting your parents to get on this podcast because
Yeah.
I think you said they're kind of rock stars. They've taught parenting classes and they've obviously had, as all parents do, but they've had a few things thrown their way in the years.
Yeah.
And they've been married a couple of years, right?
56. I thought it was
This year.
57, but it's
Nope.
56. Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys also got to grow up watching two amazing people love each other.
Yeah. And they're still in love. That's the crazy thing. Right?
Actually, that's this year, 56.
This year's going to be 56.
This year's going to be 56. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not good with the math.
Yeah, we don't say specific.
I learned
years.
from my dad.
Yeah, but they got married when they're 2, right? They're young. So
Yeah, something like that.
something like
I
that.
didn't get that.
Okay, so it's at Zany's and in later August. This episode, I think, is coming out in the beginning of August. So we got just a little bit of time left. Check it out if you're in the Nashville area. If not, we're just around, like I said, we're around the corner from shopping season. So give us the website again.
Julie's Cool Shirts.
.com.
.com. That's
Well,
right.
you guys have done this before.
You practice that. Go ahead. You say it.
Julie's Cool Shirts.
.com.
There you go. It goes both ways because
That's right.
Right.
Sometimes he needs a little help on one side.
Yeah, well, that's right. It's
help each
definitely
other.
not Derek's Cool Shirts.
We help each other.
We do help
And
each other.
Derek, I've been a dad for a long time. I got dad jokes for miles.
Yeah, yeah. I told Julie yesterday to stop acting like a flamingo. And what did you do?
I put my foot down. That's one of the best.
I'll see myself out.
I can see that.
Well, thank you guys for being here. And thank you all for listening. We would love, if you enjoyed this, and you've probably got a lot of people that you're like, I need to share this episode with somebody so they can meet these cool people. Go to our Facebook page. Just go to seeingability.com. You go to the Facebook page. We'd love for you to give us a like, a follow, and then most importantly, share this episode with others. If you're part of a parent group, they would love this. And if you have ideas, we're doing 2 episodes a month. One, it would be great people like our guest today. The other would be a nonprofit doing great work. We'd love to shine a light on them. So if you have ideas, message me there. Thank you for tuning in today. Guys, thanks for being with us.
You're awesome, man. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye now.